All right, so the next project I'm going to take care of here is I need to get back into the dashboard to fix some of the lights in the IP panel. If I shut off the dome lights and turn on the headlights, you'll see that they're kind of working a little bit. Not great. There's a couple of bulbs that aren't coming on, so just need to get in there and try to get these working. But I'm not going to do that tonight. I'm going to do that tomorrow. For now, I just wanted to kind of show what was working and what is not. So we'll get in there and figure out what's going on and try to make it all work. All right, so as I mentioned last night, I'm going to start taking this apart to figure out why those lights aren't working. So in order to get this apart, there's a few things you got to do. First thing is you got to take off your knobs for the radio so that those aren't in the way, so you can get this whole faceplate off. Then you're going to see there's a couple of screws in here. There's one there, guy here, one there. There's another one up top here. And then there's three right along this top bezel here, right by the speedometer. This one's a little tricky to get out just because it's right over the steering column. You need a shorter screwdriver to be able to get that one. And then you'll just do the same on the other side. And, you know, another screw here and then a couple more down here. And then they should be able to pop off. Now, the steering, or I'm sorry, not the steering, the shifter, the shifter lever gets in the way a little bit. If you are inclined to do so, you could probably take that off, but you can get it out without having to take that off. It's up to you if you want to go through that kind of hassle or not. And then the last thing I got to do is I got to take this little knob off the clock as well, so I'll need a tiny screwdriver for that. All right, so I've got everything loose. It's time to pull this thing off. So the first thing we've got to do is make sure we've got everything off of there so it feels like we've got all the screws off. We want to just try to get this thing to break loose a little bit. Hung up somewhere. I'm trying to figure that out. Oh, there it is. It's hung up on that bracket for some reason. Can't get that off there. I don't think I missed any screws. Oh, appears what I had. I thought I got that one. All right. So now I've got it broken loose. Now the next thing we got to do is we got to drop our steering wheel. I'll just pull this lever in. And then we just kind of carefully and very carefully get this thing to break loose so that we can get it up and over. So the last thing I want to do is crack this, because that would be bad. So it comes off in one nice piece. You've got all your glass, well, plastic actually, but then you can give this a good clean while you got it off, just to make sure that it's nice when you put it back together. All right. So the next thing we've got to take apart here is going to be this panel underneath the steering wheel, which I'll give you a better look at that. So this panel is going to be the next piece that we have to take off. It's what holds our controls for your heater and your vent. You got to get this piece off so that we can get our gear shifter indicator pulled off as well. So we're going to do that one next. All right, so that piece is off and pretty filthy. So the next thing we got to do is we've got to get this gear indicator off. There's two bolts, and this is the most frustrating part to get off of here. One is hidden behind it, I can't even see it with the camera here. It's way up in there. I'll try to get a extension to get on that one. The other one on the other side is just as infuriating. So this one you can actually see right there. The access to it is pretty bad, so you're going to need an extension, and you're also going to need a swivel extension as well. So let's see if we can, I'll try to get this on camera as best I can, but it's hard to do it with only two hands, so we'll see what I can do. All right, having a little trouble getting into those bolts, so I think what I'm going to try to do is get the speedometer loosened up and out of here so that I can pull this forward and hopefully get a little more, better access to those bolts in the back. So this is basically like a light shield cover here at the top. So once I pull this off, it'll reveal the speedometer lights behind it, which is partly what we're trying to get to. It's hard to do this with one hand. Ah, shoot, drop that one. Oh, there it is. All right, so just pull it off. And then down here, we're going to get the second pair of screws, or bolts, I mean. So get that off there. See how far forward I can get this guy. Oh, that came right off. All right, good. So now, don't really have much of a better access. But you can see it hiding back there. All right, I'm going to keep going and pulling stuff out of here and see if I can move this forward when I get ready to take that whole piece out. So we'll just keep moving forward for now. So basically what I'm doing is I'm taking out the individual components at this point. So taking out the clock and the fuel gauge, and then I'll be ready to pull out the rest of this piece, and we'll see if we can get that transmission cover off of there, or not, I keep calling it that. See if we can get that gear cover off of there. All right, so the next part of this, we've got to take apart this whole piece to pull it out. You can see now that the bulbs are all exposed, and these are the ones that I'm trying to get to work again. My two speedometer ones, I know this one's working already. This one is not, at least not that I've seen. This one illuminates the fuel gauge, which that would be nice to have. These are my warning lights. I didn't see these lighting up either, so I'm going to try to see if maybe that connection's bad as well. And then I am missing a light down here for the gear indicator. So I've got to try to find a fitting for that to be able to put that light in. But I'm not concerned with that one at the moment. It's the rest of these that I want to get. So this comes off right now. It's got two nuts that are holding it in place. It's got this one up here, and it's got one down here. So I'm going to pull those off, and I'm going to try to slide this forward so that I can try to get behind there and get those two bolts off the gear selection piece to see if I can get that off a little easier this time. I've had to fight with it before, and it's not a lot of fun. So let's give it a go. Alright, so here's the tricky part. So now I've got to be able to get behind here, release the speedometer cable to be able to slide this forward. So now that I've got that moved forward a little bit, I'm hoping I can get access to the backside a little easier. So let's see if I can get in there. So it looks like that worked out. It looked like I was able to get in there and get this nut driver on there. So I'm going to try to loosen this. I think I'm going to have to put it on the camera to do it though, because I got to hold that piece in place. So hold on a second. All right, bit of a weird angle, but hopefully that you can see. Get back out here. Come on, there we go. All right, so that's one. And let's see if we can't get the other one. Alright, let's see if this works. That's the stuff. Oh, that was the wrong way. Right, how do you lift through this? You don't know. There we go. Alright, that bit took a little longer than I was hoping it would, but I knew that was going to be the problem. So this is now free. So we can get it out of the way. So I'm going to take this. I'm just going to slide it out of the way. Like so. There we go. And that leaves the rest of it free to come out. So we're just going to pull this straight out. Take off this light. Yeah, let go. It's easier to do this with two hands. Come on. There we go. All right, so we got that piece out. So that's what you have left. So speedometer cable. This is your power to all your all the bulbs and the whole IC. This is the light that goes over the clock. This is the wire for the clock, which isn't working at the moment, but that's a whole nother problem. So here's your circuit. So this is what's having the issue. So if you look, we can see that this has worn, or not worn, but over time has just become conformed to this shape. And I think what's going on is that these are no longer touching the connections that are on the plug. So I'm going to try to add some foam tape to the inside to push these out a little farther so that these will make contact, so that hopefully all these lights will light up. I've checked this circuit already with an ohm meter, and there is no breakage in any of these lines, so everything seems to be still good. I'm getting power from my connectors, so that's not the issue. So I'm going to try to push these out a little more and see if I can get a better connection. So let's see what we can do. well, all right, so I've got foam and tape in there, so let's put this back in and see what we get. So, tuck that in there. Oops, careful. I have a tight space to get all this stuff into, so gotta get this light back in. If I can find it, there. All right, so press it back into place. And in order to do that, I've got to get the speedometer cable back in. There we go. Get the bolts back in place. And get it back there as far as we can. All right, let's see if it actually light up. Curious. So still only one. All right, well, let's do a little more investigating then. All right, after a little fooling around and a little troubleshooting, looks like I have my lights, which is fantastic. It was a matter of just taking out a bulb and flipping it around and fiddling with the connection a little bit, and I was able to get them to light up. So hopefully all my warning lights are still good. I don't have a way to test that right at the moment. I haven't seen it on, I don't know if these have prove out on them or not. Doesn't look to have it, but anyway, so I'll test those out as well, and hopefully those come on too. So let me, the only thing left to do now is just kind of reassemble everything. All right, so we were able to get it to work. We got everything put back together. It's really hard to see, but you can kind of look and see little areas where light is being let through. It's hard to see. It's hard to see in the light, but you know, when it gets dark out, these will be a lot easier to see. But all the light bulbs are working, so it looks like I achieved what I had set out to do, which is fantastic because that doesn't always happen. So hopefully you found this useful. If there's any questions, I guess you can always leave them in the comments below. And I will keep posting videos as I do other projects, so I will talk to you next time. Thanks.